Hey, so I had an interesting weekend. I ended up learning how to do, what is it? Those kind of parties with the Smirnoff Ice. I got iced, so you had to get down on your knee and, chug a drink and everything. That was my friend. She was saying death, she did a party, death to my 20s, so she turned 30. It was great. And I just started realizing all the different forms of love and everything. And when people say, I love you, right? Well, my thing is, if you want to say I love you, that's great and everything, but do you know how to say it without even saying it? And one of the best ways to say I love you is by listening to your mate, making it where it's possible to fix things for them. Hear their complaints, pay attention to what they're telling you, and have it to where you can actually, make them feel special and loved because you listen to their complaining or they're upset over something. It's good. There's nothing wrong with you just listening. That's a form of showing love. Another way of doing it is so I have this struggling going on with my boyfriend, and this has been going on and off for about 3 years, and we're both struggling with some situations where we're kind of getting like this. And he can say that he loves me, and I can tell him that I love him, but when there's no action with it and it's only based on the physical love part, it gets to the point where it's like, am I booty call love here? Or am I am I the love of your life? I mean, what's going on here? You say you love me. I need to see actions to support this. And I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way. If you're not feeling the actions to support what they're stating, could very well be they just don't know how to show you. And they just think that saying the word is enough. To me, I need actions. And I'm not talking about this action. I'm talking about I need to see the words and actions coincide to where I can let my guard down a little bit, to where I can feel comfortable to be vulnerable, and I want to feel safe to let loose and express myself, now I'm not going to say in a complaining nature, but some people are complainers. People think the world revolves around them, and this is how things need to be, and this is how it has to be, and if it's not like this, it's my way or the highway. That's not love, that's control. Recognize it for what it is, call it out, however way you want to do it that way. I'm in the kitchen, I'm doing dishes, so heads up. I can drive and talk, I can do dishes and talk at the same time. So, somebody comes to you and says, oh, I love you. That doesn't mean that they're in love with you. See, when people are in love, they will do whatever it takes to see you smile, to see that you're not stressing out, to see that you're not struggling as much. And this is how you can show people that you love them. It's just by being yourself, but being considerate. I'm one of those people. I have shown my love through various acts of service. Now, with my mate, I show my love differently. So, my friends, I will normally do acts of service. But for my mate, I will allow to get physical, and then I will also express and talk to them about things that I know that they like to talk about. And I try and reach them on an intellectual level. Now, my boyfriend likes to be a little obstinate. There's a bit of an age gap. He's 35 years old, and I'm 43. But we still are under 10 years apart to where it's still compatible and it's salvageable. We just decided recently that we're going to do this, and he's like, only I can have you. Nobody else can have you. I was like, well, let me make this very clear. In order to have me, I have to see a certain change in your behavior from the last time that we've attempted this. And I did there for a little bit, and then I noticed before I left, he did it again. Now, normally for him doing this, I would throw in the towel and say, I'm done. But because I love him and I know that he loves me, we're just not in love with each other. We're not to that point. And I'm okay with us not being in love. I mean, I met this guy, in 2009 when I was married. And I don't know, I just felt like there was just something kind of there, and he felt the same way, and we had, we were doing bad things together. Not bad things, but like bad things. And because we have history on both sides, and because I'm getting old, and plus, like I said, I hurt my back. So because that we are, from different backgrounds and have, different heritage and stuff like that, there's a bit of a struggle. And like their code of, the families all live together. And there's like, that means that, the father, the grandparents, everything all lives in one house. So, that is their domain. Until I am officially introduced to the whole family, I still have to be treated like I am the booty call queen. Until he comes to his senses and realizes that this is something more than he wants. I mean, we've already kind of started discussing the future, which I'm really happy about, because this is that we've made a lot of ground in the areas that I've really noticed that we needed to. And I mean, there's also other factors that are in the situation. When I'm ready to discuss these things, I will. But till then, I just feel I kind of like where things are, but we did not have a very good party after we did our makeup. And I keep realizing, because of his heritage and everything, he's going to be a very stubborn, gruff man. Irritating, but he's my asshole. So I said it. We talked about it. He called me a jerk. There's times I am a jerk. I own it. But if he thinks that I'm going to allow him to push me around and manipulate me to get what he wants, and he thinks that it's going to be where I'm just going to be, because I did move closer to be closer to him. Because I knew we were heading that way because, we do like each other. And it's not where, there were times I left him for 6 months. And then this time before that, we didn't talk for a year. And then now it's like about 6 months, and then now it's like every couple of months. The time keeps getting smaller. So that there's something going on. And in this last round, we actually discussed, and I'm like, fine. I said, you can see other women, but I'm going to see other men. And until you decide, or we both decide that we're going to make something out of this, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing, and we'll see you when we see you. We'll meet you in the middle kind of situation, And people are like, well, how can you call that love? You don't recognize it's love until you realize you miss their company. You miss arguing with them. You miss seeing them. You'll actually have reminders of them. You'll go to a spot and be like, fuck, this is where I was with the so-and-so. Then you also start seeing people. Another thing, you'll start seeing couples together, and the first thing you're going to be thinking of is, I wonder if I should reach out to so-and-so. If you truly miss somebody, and, they're trying to make an effort to talk to you, hear them out. I know I said nothing but change behavior, but this guy thought that he was going to treat me like a booty call, and I reminded him that I wasn't booty call material. I said, I'm not side piece material. I said, I'm the main course, and if you're not ready to sit at the table and enjoy the main course, you can get your side dishes elsewhere. go ahead, knock it out. So we'll see. He got a dose past couple of days of where I'm putting my foot down on things, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoy the man cave. He knows I do. I love seeing him. I love hanging out with him. I love going on our little hikes. I love it when we go and collect wood together. I love it when we, I just like when we spend time together. And because of both of our living situations, and we didn't have time to get a room, we ended up staying the night in my car. And I had to go to work the next morning. And I was too tired to drive that distance all the way back, because see, we were doing a long distance thing, and it really wasn't working out. So then here I am getting closer. I mean, I'm glad that he reached out, but I also reminded him, I was like, if you saw feelings for so-and-so, I was like, you need to go be with her. But he told me straight up he does not want to be with her, so we'll see. Because I let you go handle your business, go be with whoever the fuck you want. But when I'm ready to step up, and you're not ready to, next. I have no problem replacing. And I'm not going to be guilty and say, oh, you did this and that. I'm a woman. I'm in America. I'm free to do the fuck I want to do. And I will do it. I'm not having anybody down my throat, or shoving down saying that I need to be this way or that way because I'm a woman in America. And I was all like, you know what? Things have changed. We're not back in that time frame anymore. And there's men out there that would rather stay home and take care of the children. Me and him discussed this. And he said, girl, dude, make your money. Handle it however way you want to. And I was like, I'm going to. And I know that, his situation is, very stressful. And I respect that. And I try it not. And like when he tells me to come by and everything, I also make sure it's cleared with the family that I'll be available to show up and everything. Because like I said, in their culture, they have it to where all the family lives together. They don't have it where they live separately. They all stay close, especially if the elders are, up there in age and they're going to be needing help and stuff like that. So I take all that in consideration, because where I was raised in the Polynesian households is kind of the same way. Not everybody lives separately. There's a lot of nuclear families, and there's a lot of close-knit living and stuff, where you kind of be like, well, I'm in a failure to launch and stuff. No, it's not like that. This is a different culture, and this is a different way of things, and some people probably would have an issue with it, especially if it's something that they don't agree with. I don't have a problem with close-knit families. I don't have a problem with families living together. I kind of was telling him, I was like, what I'd like us to do is maybe build our own house, so when the kids are able to come home with, the grandkids and stuff, they have a place to stay. Because I know what it was like growing up, not having a place to stay sometimes. And like I said, we came across that situation because we didn't make enough plans in time, and it was a spontaneous, let's do this. And he didn't have the man cave ready for me to stay. So we did what we did. And no, we didn't do that. I didn't do that in my car or anything. I mean, it was too damn cold for one, and we had blankets and pillows, which was nice. But we were just right across the street from his house. Not far or anything, but it's just sometimes situations come across these, and you just know. If he really didn't care about me, if he really didn't want my company, he really didn't want to hold me that night, then he would have told me, you know what, you can't stay here, go home. And I would have. But I was just really tired. I had, I was having a rough few days. I was working days and nights, and I'm talking about long days, and, a nice amount of nights to where I was just like, I was getting burnt out. And he was nice enough to let me, crash with him. And we barely get to see each other as it is, just because our life schedules and stuff. I mean, he's had a few situations where his cars he's had a lot of vehicle, what do you call it? Malfunctions. A lot. And I'm like, karma hitting something, because usually when all this foul shit is going on, there's usually something behind it, and it's whatever. But I'm not going to feel bad about the way that I handle stuff, and I'm not going to feel guilt tripped or anything like that, because I had, you know, and then my phone was going off, and while we were together, and he goes, oh, your boyfriends are getting a hold of you. I'm like, I said, the only boyfriend I have is a stubborn asshole that's trying to start shit with me. I said, just like that. I was like, we're not doing this. I said, the one thing I did not like about it is that we would fight, and I'm not into fighting. I like to keep the peace. And I mean, you would think this guy would be about peace. He's got a tattoo of a peace sign right there on his face, but whatever. He's got a lot of fun hobbies. He does keep himself busy in the situation that he's in, and I respect that. I do. But I told him before I left, I was like, you know what? I said, I like to see consistency. This is getting old. We've been doing this far too long, and you say you love me, and I'm glad that he's finally got to this point. It took about, what, almost 3 years for us to get to the point where we can say that we love each other. Are we madly in love and want to go get married? We have actually discussed marriage, but we're not going there yet because we're both not in a situation to do that. And plus, he got really upset that I was withholding from him. And he kind of got butthurt that I wouldn't sleep with him. And I mean, I would sleep in the car with him, but I wouldn't, you know, sleep with him. And he was getting really upset about this because it was really frustrating him being next to me and us, you know, not able to do anything. And he reminded me of that. And I was like, okay, let's test the water. I caved. And he thought it was all back in and everything was just going to go back to... Nope. When he started getting the way he was, I started getting my clothes, my jacket on. I was grabbing my purse. I even asked him to hand me my purse and my phone and my keys and stuff. I was like, I'm ready to go. And he could tell. And I was like... And he usually walks me to my car. And, you know, gives me a proper goodbye. But this time he chose not to. It kind of stung, but it's like, whatever. He says, oh, we're in this and we're doing this. It's like, well, you ghost me one more time, motherfucker, it's done. You will not have contact with me. You will not ghost me. You will never see me again. And I'm that person. You ghost me, I take you back one time and I let it flourish. You act up like your old shit, I'll be gone. You start showing behavior that irritates me before, you start showing the behavior that caused me to be like, fuck this, bye. I ain't got time for it. You either respect me and talk to me with respect, and you don't change up on me to where you like doing a 360. I'm like, you usually walk me to the car and give me a proper goodbye. Well, what's going on with this? This time you didn't want to. So I knew I got to it. I knew it. And I told him, I told him something. We ended up having a conversation about patience and understanding. And he said, I am the most patient and understanding man that you've crossed. And then he decided to run, throw in my face that I haven't been the same. And I guess it really stung because when I told him, I think it probably took him for a loop when I said we can see other people. And he was just like, what? I was like, yeah. You don't have to do it behind my back no more. You could do it right there in front of my face. But I guarantee while you're fucking pursuing her and her and her and her, you ain't pursuing me. And I made that very clear. And it bothered him because on New Year's Eve, that motherfucker was trying to get a hold of me. He's like, I want to make things right. I'm sorry. Let's try this again. And I'm like, yep. Nope. We're not gonna get together. And then he waited another month, and then he said to me, I miss you. And I was like, you sure this time? You sure this time? Because the more I keep hearing this, I miss you, your fucking routine, the more I'm out the fucking door. I'm to the point, it's either shit or get off the pot, because you don't get to waste more than this amount of time that you're already trying to waste with me. Because I swear to God, if I find another bitch up in this picture, I will make sure she's stuck with you forever. And he knows that I was like, because when I found out about her being pregnant and that the baby was possibly his, and I had to let him go, and let him be with her where she hurt him. She hurt him really good. He got a dose. And now finding out the baby is his. We might have wrecked a happy family, right? But they both say they don't want to be with each other. So then guess who gets to step up? Me. And it's going to probably cause friction with my household. Or not my household. Not my household, but my children. Because they don't like it when I date somebody that has children. They have an issue with that. They've all expressed it. So. But the second time that I met him, where we ended up actually kind of getting together and dating and stuff, he bought me flowers and he helped me with moving and boxes and took me to eat, just, he had his son there and like, it was a really good time. But you can say that you love somebody till you're blue in the face, but until you actually show it and start showing the necessary changes that you do need to make to establish a solid foundation, a loving, solid foundation, it's just words. It is nothing more. You have to make the necessary changes to establish that solid connection. And I'm not just saying me, and I'm not just saying just you, it's both of us together. We have to do that. So I'm saying to you guys, in order to establish, after the hit and miss, bounce back, forth, finally the sticking together part, that's the pain in the ass. Back and forth, I hate you, you're dead to me, you're dead to me. All that fucking toxic bullshit, right? And I was like, oh, toxicity. Oh, you can do better. Have y'all ever decided to think just maybe if somebody can love the good, bad, and ugly of you, they're the one that's for you. And the reason why is because nobody else will fucking do it. Nobody else will put up with the bullshit that you're going to dish each other. I'm trying to work on my mouth. Just, hear me out. Nobody is going to put up with it. Nobody else. That's why you guys are mates. Because that's the beauty of it. That's the process, is that you guys are figuring each other out. The best part is when you find out that you guys are an ideal match. There's just things about you that you need to fine tune to make it a workable, successful match. We're just finding out that we're sticking. How long? Who knows? On and off for 3 fucking years. I would say that's something. They keep coming back. Because there was another character that was in the midst of this, because first guy decided he wanted to dip out and ghost me, and he basically drove me into the arms of this guy. See, everybody says, oh, polyamorous. No. There's just people sometimes are afraid of letting go. I'm not. I can let you go and I'll be like playing pool with another motherfucker like that. Why? Because if you're gonna discard me and you're gonna disrespect me and say instead of giving me the quality time to tell me, hey, this isn't working out, I've got some personal issues I need to deal with, I'm struggling with this, I just feel like having a relationship is too stressful for me. If you don't have the balls to talk like that to me and sit me down and kind of tell me, hey, let's just take a break and see other people, you ain't the one for me. I gotta have someone that could sit me down and have the balls to say, I'm not ready. I want to give him one last chance to make things work out between us. And if that means that I'm going to be a stepmom down the road, then I guess, I know my role. I know what I need to do. But if that's not my case and he thinks I'm a pastor timer buyer, which I said, I better not be. He goes, you're not a pastor timer buyer. He goes, I do, I love you. And he was telling me how much he loved me until he got his way, and then all of a sudden the attitude changed. I'm like, oh, here we go again. I said, fam, you know what? I said, if he keeps this up, and I've already made a deal with myself, I already thought it out and decided, okay, this is his last chance. if he continues to fucking disregard my feelings, having consideration for me after we, make love and everything, I'm going to drop him permanently. I had been dealing with this too long and getting really upset that nothing has been established. He says that we're together and that I better not be seeing anybody else because it really bothered him when I did get with somebody else. I got underneath his skin. And I'm not going to feel bad for what I had to do to wisen his ass up. He thought I was going to be crawling back to him because he went to another woman and how they're all thinking about getting married and everything. And I'm like, oh yeah? Congratulations. And then I find out that there's a possibility the baby's not his. And I was all like, peace, yo. Out. You did what you did. Suffer the consequences. You had stuck with me, and we were actually overcoming our differences and our situation where we butted heads and said we could have been. And I was telling him that last night. I was like, dude, I said we could have been so far ahead if you had just stuck with me. But no, you're young, and you're selfish, and you're stubborn, and you didn't know what you had. So, ladies, don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. Don't feel bad. Ever. You got to protect you. You got to do what you have to do to survive in this world. To make it in this world. To build in this world. And if it requires you to let go of people that are just dragging their feet and saying this is not happening, I'm just going to string you along. Get that scissor and cut that motherfucker loose. You don't need that shit. Men, you got a girl that's doing the same shit as I just described and talked about, you can cut them loose. It's okay. You can let them loose and let them figure it out on their own. Like I said, the ones that are meant to be good, they come back and they want to work things out and they give it a real go and expect you to tolerate the good, bad, and ugly. You better have some good, bad, and ugly to send him back with. You can't just keep allowing and forgiving and pushing that forgiveness button for nothing. You push that forgiveness button out of love. You push that forgiveness button because you want to be with this person. You push that forgiveness button because you don't want to be with anybody else. But if you have in the back of your mind that there's someone else you want to be with, that forgiveness button is go bye-bye. You pushed it enough, motherfucker. I'm done. And you can do that. People think it's cute to be an asshole to each other. It's not. But you sure do wise the fuck up. So remember, love. Stop using it like toilet paper. If you really love somebody, you're going to have to show them. You're going to have to make some changes. You're going to have to dig down deep, and I mean deep, and realize this motherfucker's for me. This person's had my back. This is the person I go to when I'm upset. This is my homeboy. This is my homegirl kind of situation. Then when they got your back, that's the one for you. These ones that like just disappear and dissipate like, what? You got this? Oh, I can't help you. I got this going on. Bitch, go. I'll be fine. I got this. And when they try and come back, I was like, I'm sorry. When I called you this time, you didn't come through. I can't trust you. I cannot feel safe to be vulnerable around you. I would have to always keep my guard and be ready to pack when shit don't go right. The ones that are there for you to be like, listen, you need some time. I understand. And that was the thing that me and this guy were having issues with. Is like when he said he started putting out that attitude and that fronting behavior that he needed space. Oh, I gave it to him. I gave him his space. I let him feel my presence not there. Like I let him